Okay, so welcome back, you guys. Today I have my boy Lee Jin, aka Ibrahim. He's a hip hop choreographer. I've been knowing him for a long time, like years, since like high school. And he's really good at dancing. Actually, great. He's appeared in a few Lil Wayne videos. He has a contract with the Mavericks. Dude is dope. But basically, we're here because today he's changing his style up. He's actually switching to a drop ball fade. He's had the top braided for quite some time. And it's just time for him to have a change. You know, he feels that it's time to take the next step in his life, and he wants to cut his hair off. So let's get straight into it. Okay, as you can see, first thing I do is comb the hair out. He has very tightly curled hair. And as you can see, once we cut the top down, he's been having braids so long, I think about a year or two, he stuck with the same style that he actually has like a kind of a permanent part on the top. And I'll show you guys ways to deal with that situation. But first, we're going to cut his hair down. Eventually, we're going to get this down to 1.5, which is what the desired length for this cut is. But I'm going to start with a 2 for a few different reasons. But the main reason is because I want to be safe. And when I say be safe, what I mean is when someone's had long hair for quite some time, a year plus, you don't know what kind of curl, wave pattern or a growth pattern the hair is taking on underneath. What new swirls have been developed on what parts. Like I said, he's had it parted so long because of the braids. He has kind of a permanent indentation of that part. So I want to be safe. I don't want to cut the desired length first because I don't want to gap anything. It could be swirls, it could be like I said, parts, anything. So I want to be safe. So my safe length first is the 2, then I'll come to the 1.5. So yes. So here's actually basically a better view of what I was saying. If you look straight down the middle of his scalp, you'll see that part, that one permanent part from the braids. If you look at his edge up, you see their hair kind of lays there, but it's kind of like a part there as well. So, and if you look, you can kind of see those thicker patches are actually different growth patterns within his hair. So as you can see, we got a few things we're gonna have to work out. That's why I actually did the 2 first. And what I'm going to do, actually, before I go with that 1.5, I'm going to use the hot towel, hot lather method, lather method. And what that pretty much does, any kind of steam, heat, opens up the pores in the skin. Same thing with the hair follicles on the head. I'm going to use the hot lather and hot rag to actually open the hair, those hair follicles. And what's going to happen when I open the follicles, it actually helps the hair work with me, not against me, which basically means it's going to fall back in this natural growth pattern, or the growth pattern that I set with the comb that I'm going to use after I apply that hot rag, that hot lather thin towel. So you kind of see, it won't work 100%, but it'll actually take me to a much better place than I am now. I'll get rid of a lot of those swirls. I'll get rid of most of that part, not all of that. It's going to come up over time and brushing. But it'll actually help me get my very smooth edge up. As you can see right there on the side, there's a line as well. So that hot rag is going to, and that hot lather is going to help me actually lay that hair back to a natural, smooth growth pattern, like I said, what I use with the comb. So you guys watch, and you'll see what I do as I do it. Okay, so I basically want to add a generous amount. I don't want to over lather it because it'll be hard to take off with the towel. So I put just enough to lay the hair down. And as you can see, I'm combing the hair in the growth pattern that he'll brush. I'm kind of coaching the hair back to a desired look that we want after we get through this process. Then I come with my rag that you can put the rag in the microwave for 15-20 seconds, depending on how hot the water is at your shop or your house. And after I let it sit for about 15-30 seconds, depending on the severity of the situation, I'll lay it all down. As you can see, you got most of those lines or parts out. The one in the middle, it was kind of stubborn. It's been up for so long, so it's still kind of there quite a bit. But it'll be okay. He'll be okay. The edge up lays perfect. The sides lay perfect. So it's great. And now I comb my 1.5. I comb through, still coaching that hair, and coaxing that hair to lay the way that I would like, or that he would like. See, the part is still there, but a lot of my other issues are gone. Those swirls and different growth patterns have pretty much been annihilated, and I'm just left with that part, so I can work with that. Like I said, over time, that'll be great anyway. So you guys watch me cut down. Oh well, never mind. So now he's getting a drop fade. As you can see, I'm starting below the occipital bone. I'm going to curve around the ears, not too high around the ears, because with a drop fade, depending on the edge up, I want to keep it nice and low so I can give me a nice fade radius, so I don't find myself fade into a highball fade, okay? So as you can see, a drop fade is basically the fade on the temple of the head, which is the side, is higher than the fade in the back, which is where the occipital bone is. So it gives it a drop appearance, hence the name drop fade. Okay? So you guys just watch me clean it out, neaten it up, and I'll be back when it's time for the next step. Okay, so now it's time for the secondary line. Secondary line is basically, when I do multiple lines, it's basically to give me a neater workspace. I like steps because steps are kind of foolproof, and if I ever get lost in the fade, I can kind of backtrack my steps, and it makes for a nicer, neater fade. People don't realize, and I'll drop a video on it, specifically just catered to the secondary line and the purpose of it, but people don't realize how important that secondary line is. That literally is the whole fade. How bulky the fade looks, how blurry the fade looks. It's all on how you fade that secondary line in, which is the first line technique. Alright, so I'm keeping the same pattern as I did with the primary line. I cut it because I want the fade to all be smooth. So I'm basically getting that line in. I'm making sure it's nice and neat, nice and even, no chunks, no thickness. And then after I get that in, it'll be time to start fading. Okay, so for removing this primary line, you're going to see that I'm actually going to start with the Walls seniors, but I'm going to switch to the Andes Masters, because basically it's simple the way his hair was reacting to the clipper. Sometimes it's all about feel, how my clippers are cut at the moment, because different clippers react differently to different heads. So my Masters gave me a better reaction, especially, like I said, I love the length on that comb anyway, so that's the clipper that I started with. Okay, so now basically what I'm doing is, and please listen when I say this, okay? You see me fading, I'm not balding that area out, right? I'm fading this primary section in. I'm doing a fade, depending on how this secondary section looks with the primary line right here. It all depends on how the fade looks, okay? That top line up there, that secondary line, where all the thick hair is, it won't mean squat if the fade on the bottom line is not a smooth transition. Trust me. So make sure you don't just take it out, you fade it in. Very important. I see a lot of barbers just taking that line out, or I heard the term taking it out, but truthfully, it's about fading it in. As you can see, I'm using my reverse clipper method there. It's basically giving me a more flush cut. So yeah, I want to fade. Make sure my fade is nice and even. You can see with my top thumb on my left hand, I'm stretching the skin, okay? As you can see, I hold the clipper very light. You don't have to press down on the clipper. For one, he has sensitive skin. You never know when your clients might have sensitive skin. You don't want to irritate the skin. And plus, your clippers actually cut better when you apply less pressure, as long as they're oiled and properly cared for. So you don't have to press down hard, because what happens is when you press down so hard, you take away from the maximum amount of strokes you can take, because you're irritating the skin the more you go. You have to remember, and I know I'm talking a lot, but it's very important. You have to remember that you're basically the epidermis, which is the outer layer of the skin. You're irritating that. The more you rub friction, it's just laws of physics. It's just how it works, right? So you apply light pressure so that you can give yourself more stroke count. That's what she said. But seriously though, more stroke count. All right. Now, next step. I'm doing, I got the 1.5 on my magic clip. I'm sorry, on my seniors, which is similar to the magic clip, okay? And I'm debulking. Debulking is very serious, because when I debulk, what I'm doing is I'm creating a lighter and easier workspace for myself when it's actually time to fade. If I didn't debulk, I can possibly still fade, but it'll take forever, because it's more of a likely chance that I gap it, I take off more than I need to, I put myself in a bind, and I don't want to do that, okay? So after I debulk with the 1.5, same clipper, I'm putting my 1 on, and I'm kind of fading and debulking, right? My one is one of those in-between guards where I can fade with it and I'm still debulking because I have to come back with my Andis Masters no guard anyway, right? So I'm still step by step making my workspace lighter. So when it's time for me to actually blend those two fades, the primary and the secondary section together, I have no problem. And it's much easier. Any job is easier when you prep for it. Meals are easier when you meal prep, or when you get your ingredients out before it's time to start cooking, okay? All right, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so after debulking now, again, like I said, I have my Andis Masters, no guard, and I'm just blending these two sections together. It's so much easier when I debulk. Imagine if I didn't debulk and I just tried to come in with the smaller no guard. It'd be difficult. You know, not impossible, but difficult. And we want to alleviate difficult. Just because we're great, don't mean we have to make our work hard. Work smart now, okay? If you look right below my hand, you see a little blood right there. He actually had a hair bump. I cleaned it out, got the hair out, bled a little bit, sanitized my clippers afterwards. We good with that. All right, so now I'm debulking again right here in this section on the frontal lobe, right here on the side of his head above his ear, with my 1/16 on my Masters. I don't have to, but it'll make it much easier. I want it to be a nice smooth fade with no bulkiness. So I'm gonna debulk and I'll come back with the same method that I had last time. Sometimes I use the corner of the clipper because I might not need to debulk a full section, just partial of a section, so I don't need to use the whole blade. All right. New technique alert on the edge up, and I'm so excited to share this with you because I know it helps so much. I'm about to show you how to debulk on the edge up. Yes, debulk with the razor and the comb. Pretty sure if you cats been in prison before, you know what I'm probably going to do. If you haven't, now you're about to learn. Okay? So first I apply my shave gel. It's kind of a thicker substance for his hair. And watch, I'm taking the comb, I'm laying it at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm getting the long hair, and I'm cutting it off, debulking with the razor. This will make the edge up so much easier. Over curly hair people like us, we have thick hair on our edge up, and sometimes it runs from the clippers. The vibration of the clippers can make it run. The razor can't pull it because it runs. So when you debulk it, what you're doing is you're taking away a lot of that fluff, so those curls actually lay down. Trust me, big tip, try it out. Let me know what you think. I'll show you more in depth on the next video. So after I do that, I'm pretty much keeping the edge up nice and natural. He has an eddy kind of in the front. I took a small bit of it off. He wants it to be nice and even across. But as you can see, the biggest part about that razor is stretching the skin. The reason why you want to stretch the skin is because when you have a nice steady workspace, no wrinkles in the skin, the razor glides much easier. See, again, there I go. Debulking, taking out some of the thickness, come back with it, and just get those hairs to hang over, okay? You guys watch, hope you enjoy. I think it's like a few more things I want to show you, but just check me out. See you in a little bit. very end is about cleaning. All I'm doing now is cleaning up, finding little bitty spots. I try to find as much as I can find to clean it up, because trust me, because they can't see it doesn't mean it won't make the cut look better, okay? Hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for this before and after, how we came and how we left. Hope you enjoyed. I know I talked a lot this video, but I had a lot to share. Remember, like, subscribe. And I got a lot of new clippers. I'm about to give you guys some too. Stay tuned for that. 100K coming soon.